Oh, so I think I am instructed to say that my name is Stephen Gatlin, and that's spelled with a PH, Stephen Gatlin, and I'm a resident, in fact, the longest resident at the moment, here at Bowes Farms, at the farm, the community, they call it variously. I came from the Philadelphia suburbs, more precisely Haverford, Pennsylvania, and my job essentially ended, which is kind of a euphemistic way of saying, and so I wanted to find property that I could build a house on and be debt free. And I labored over this for months while I was still employed at the university. I'm a university professor. I was, and I looked at places in New Mexico. I looked at places in Wyoming. I looked at places, that had a good ring, sounded like it might be a good place to live. Now, let me know if I become too verbose, because I could rattle on all day. And I remember finding, just for example, and I'll let it go at that, I found this absolutely stunning 10 acres in New Mexico. And it had a great stand of trees, and it was just as idyllic as you could get, although it got very, very cold in there in the winter, because it was 10 or 12,000 feet high. What would you expect? And I could have gotten the land for $10,000, which is just almost free. And I had this guy from Texas, who's a kind of, he seemed rather benign to me. He was just a land salesman. And he was willing to sell it to me for that. And I thought, well, what a deal. I can't turn this down. $10,000 for this great stand of trees and everything. And I was just about to write him a check. And then I began talking on the phone to some of the residents who lived, as it were, in the nearby community. And by the way, this mountain was right bordering Arizona, and they were beginning to tell me about what it was like to live there, the expenses of living there, the trouble, the bother. In other words, I'd have to have a truck with, knobby tires to negotiate the terrain out there. It just goes with the territory, or some really wicked Jeep. And but that wasn't the real problem. There were divers little things, that sort of drove the cost of transplanting myself out there. Kept getting higher and higher and higher. And but the clincher was, being 10,000 feet in the air, where are you going to get water? And the rainfall there isn't very, it's not really consistent enough to rely on cisterns the way we do here in Belize. The advantage of Belize, to me, is something as simple as being able to ride a motorbike without fearing certain death. I had a lot of motorbikes in America, but truthfully, I was afraid to ride them. Someone slams into the side of you, and it's curtains, and that's the end of it. I can ride a motorbike here. All right, I can ride a motorbike into the nearest town here, Spanish Lookout. In fact, I've got a little Italianate scooter that I ride part of the time. Otherwise, I have this wonderful Indian bike. So I mention that simply to say I don't have a car in Belize. I don't need a car. Now, some people have to have them. They just have to have them, and that's part of their American lifestyle. I've always wanted a situation where I didn't have to own a car, and the expense and maintenance, and keeping up a motorbike are almost nothing in comparison. Other aspects of Belize. Belize hovers between being a second world country and a third world country. There are a few disadvantages to this. I think the advantage to it is, I mean, I'm a man of modest means, you see, in terms of a regular monthly income, but I still make, bracketing all of the crowd over on the coast who are in the tourist business. But if you're comparing me to the people here in Cayo, I make a lot of money, so to speak, doing nothing except working on my farm and socializing in the community and playing the guitar, messing around with hobbies. Right now I'm finishing out my house. Here at Bowes Farms, they sell what are felicitously known as cabins, right? Mm-hmm. Which means that you've got 2x4s with clapboard on the outside. And it's perfectly adequate. You seal it up, fill in the cracks, and it's okay. Aesthetically, though, it's not up to speed for me because I can't do anything with it in terms of improving the looks of it. So the wall that you see behind me is the wall that I have. And if I may turn around for a moment, it's walls that you can mount pictures on and, turn it into a proper room. So I have converted effectively a cabin into a proper house, what I would regard as a proper house in that regard. Well, Darren I've known since December of 12. And Darren's always been a super guy, Had it not been for Darren, I would not have come to Belize. It's simple as that. Because like so many Americans, when you say uprooting yourself and coming to Belize, I mean, it either terrifies them or whatever, I don't know. It's not something that they're willing to do. What Darren did was serve as a kind of catalyst. By virtue of a visit down here, just an initial visit, I could see the lay of the land, I could see the people, I could see that it wasn't really such a suspicious unknown as I thought at the time, and I dare say a lot of people probably feel that way. Being in Belize is and living in Belize with a paid-for house and all of these things. And I have, guys, for those of you who care, right, and who might be possibly contemplating a scheme like this, you just have no expenses for practical purposes. I think the natural instinct, which is not incorrect, is that you need a substantial income and everything to be down here. In fact, the exact opposite is true. I can live much more cheaply on my parcel and my house than I could live anywhere.